ਸ੍ਰੀ ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਜੀਓ। ਧਨਾਸਰੀ ਮਹੱਲਾ ਪੰਜਵਾ। ਤ੍ਰਿਪਤ ਭਈ ਸਚ ਭੋਜਨ ਖਾਇਆ, ਮਨ ਤਨ ਰਸਨਾ ਨਾਮ ਧਿਆਇਆ। ਜੀਵਨਾ ਹਰ ਜੀਵਨਾ, ਜੀਵਨ ਹਰ ਜਪ ਸਾਧ ਸੰਗ ਰਹਾਉ। ਅਨੇਕ ਪ੍ਰਕਾਰੀ ਬਸਤਰ ਉਡਾਏ, ਅਨ ਦਿਨ ਕੀਰਤਨ ਹਰ ਗੁਣ ਗਾਏ। ਹਸਤੀ ਰਥ ਅਸ ਅਸਵਾਰੀ, ਹਰ ਕਾ ਮਾਰਗ ਹਿਰਦੈ ਨਿਹਾਰੀ। ਮਨ ਤਨ ਅੰਤਰ ਚਰਨ ਧਿਆਇਆ, ਹਰ ਸੁਖ ਨਿਧਾਨ ਨਾਨਕ ਦਾਸ ਪਾਇਆ। ਮਨ ਤਨ ਅੰਤਰ ਚਰਨ ਧਿਆਇਆ, ਹਰ ਸੁਖ ਨਿਧਾਨ ਨਾਨਕ ਦਾਸ ਪਾਇਆ। ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕਾ ਖਾਲਸਾ, ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕੀ ਫਤਿਹ। ਸੰਗਤ ਜੀ, today's Pavan Pitra Hukamnama Sahib from Sachkhand Sri Harmandir Sahib is blessed to us on Ang 684 by Dhanaasaree Guru Arjan Dev Ji Sache Paatshah Ji in Dhanaasaree Raag. Guru Arjan Dev Ji Paatshah Ji used three examples within this beautiful Shabad. Those three different examples are based off people within this world in these different ways of how people enjoy pleasures of this life. And one being food, another being clothes, and then Sache Paatshah Ji talk about the third one being that vehicle, that ride, as some people call it, meaning the cars. Some people, for that is pleasure for them. That's how they get their pleasure. Guru Arjan Dev Ji Paatshah has used these three examples and said that there's one thing that can give you the pleasure of all of these things without having to actually trying to take pleasure out of those, in whether you've got them or not, but you can have that pleasure from one thing. Let's listen to what Guru Arjan Dev Ji Paatshah Ji, let's go on this journey with these beautiful words of Guru Arjan Dev Ji Paatshah Ji. Dhanaasaree mahalla panjava, ਤ੍ਰਿਪਤ ਭਈ ਸਚ ਭੋਜਨ ਖਾਇਆ. Guru Arjan Dev Ji Paatshah is saying that Tripat Pai, Tripat means to become satisfied. From inside, when you feel that that's it, I'm done, I don't need any more. And often, Sangat Ji, that when there's certain foods that we really enjoy eating, we've got some of us, I'm sure we've got our favorite foods, and we look forward to eating those particular foods. And then when we get that food that we really enjoy, and for that moment as we are eating it, we're enjoying it so much and we're experiencing that pleasure of eating that food. And then as we are eating it, within our mind we feel that satisfaction of receiving that food, of eating that food. But that satisfaction is obviously momentarily. It's there for that moment. For that moment, yes, we do. As we've been desiring that, and then we eat that, and for that moment there is something within us that feels satisfied. But obviously we all know that it's temporary. That satisfaction doesn't remain there. It's not like we don't get hungry again. It's not like that we're not going to want that again. So yes, we do get hungry again. But Pacha ji saying here, Guru Arjan Dev Ji Pacha is saying, Kende tripat pei sach bhojan khaya. They said, but I became tripat. I became completely satisfied, meaning that I became completely content from inside. When did that contentment come? When I ate the true bhojan, the true food, sach. And Pacha saying, what is that? Kende man tan rasana naam te aaya. Pacha ji saying, man tan rasana naam te aaya, with my mind and then with my body. Kende rasana, and with my tongue. Naam te aaya, that I meditated on the name of God. Kende as I started meditating, just so that there's no confusion, there's absolutely nothing wrong with enjoying food. There's nothing wrong with experiencing pleasure from food. But yes, and it is true that for that moment there is that satisfaction. But Guru Arjan Dev Ji Pacha is saying that when I meditated on the name of God, and I meditated with my mind, and I meditated with my body, I meditated with my tongue of that name of God, and they said that became my bhojan, but it became my sach bhojan. Sach bhojan, my true food. It means that I became content from inside. Content from what? From all material gains of this world. I became content from all these worldly possessions. Meaning that I was satisfied now. I didn't have that race from inside anymore. I didn't feel hungry anymore. I didn't feel hungry that I need to get this, I need to get that, I need to gain with this. Meaning that life then only became about where, yes, we have those things that are essential to us in our life to live and survive. But anything beyond that I thought that I need that, and that's going to bring me satisfaction, that's going to bring me contentment, a forever eternal contentment, that has now gone. That hunger has now just completely gone for me. Sangatji, so many of us are constantly feeling hunger. That hunger where Pachaji said that hunger is just not going to go. They said, Bhukkhiyan bhukh na utri, je banna puriyan bhar. Pachaji saying, Jinna marji tu pand ban la apne sir uppar. They said it doesn't matter how many things that you accumulate. They said, but can they banna means to tie up this whole bundle on your head, because that's how people used to travel in the past. Nowadays we've got our cars, and people, yes, back in those days, people that were well off, they had carts. But people that couldn't afford, and they didn't have carts. So what would they do when they'd go out traveling and they'd buy things? What they would do is they'd get this big sheet, this cloth, and they'd put all the things that they had bought, that they'd put it in there, and then they'd make a pile. So they'll pile it up, and then they tie that up at the top. So some people would have this tall little pile, and what they would do is they'd balance it on their head, and they'd carry it with balancing it and holding it. The Pachaji kende bhukkhiyan bhukh na utri. Kende but bhukh na utri. Kende even if bhukkhiyan, meaning that all those things that you are hungry for within this world, all these worldly possessions, they said bhukkhiyan bhukh na utri. They said, but your hunger still did not go. Je banna puriyan par. Even if you went around puriyan Sangatji means worlds. Never mind from this world. Even if somebody found that you can get something from Mars, you can get something from the moon, whatever it is, wherever you may be able to go to even different realms, and then you collected all the things from there. But but that hunger from inside still remained. But Guru Arjan Dev Ji Pacha said, I ate something that gave me contentment from inside, where I felt shant. And what was that? This says that sach bhojan, that true food, And that is what Mantana Rasna Naam te aaya. I received Naam. When my Guru gave me Naam, they said, then what did I do? How did I meditate on that Naam? With my mind. And so let's go the other way around now. There's Pachis talking about Manatan, and then they're talking about Rasna. They said that I started with my Rasna because that's the starting point. That even though that Naam may not have gone into my mind yet, it may not be yet in my body yet, but I start with my tongue. That's my starting point. So with this starting point, the Guru transmitted this Naam, this mantra into me. Guru Nanak Dev Ji Pacha Ji gave us the mantra of Vaheguru Gur Shabad Sunaya, and that is what Guru Nanak Dev Ji Pacha Ji, that's the mantra that they gave to their Sikhs. Whoever became a disciple of Guru Nanak Dev Ji, whoever became a Sikh of Guru Nanak Dev Ji Pacha Ji, this is what they gave them. So Guru Arjan Dev Ji Pacha Ji is saying that we take first that Naam that is transmitted into us, and then we use the tongue to recite it. So we use this, that Vaheguru, 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 Vaheguru. But then Guru Arjan Dev Ji Pacha said, as meditating upon this Naam that my Guru gave me with my tongue, then it went into my mind. Because I was concentrating so much as I was reciting it. I was being very careful that I'm not reciting it unconsciously. That my mind was there, fully focused on saying Vaheguru, Vaheguru. And I was saying it with full faith as well. Sangatji, even if we don't concentrate when we are eating food, it will feel like we've not eaten any food. The signals will not reach the brain to say that I am full. If we're doing two things at a time, our concentration is somewhere else. We're on our phone, we're on WhatsApp, still trying to get our work done on the computer, still trying to just get those last few emails sent off. Whatever it is that is somebody's work, whether it be somebody's trying to edit some basics of Sikhi videos, whatever it is for you, Sangatji. And then the the mind is there as well. The full concentration is not there. And then at the same time we're eating naal khai janne. And Sangatji, this has become the story of so many people nowadays. That they're at work, they're sitting on their desk, in the office, on the desk, at their desk. Sangatji, and today obviously people are working, nowadays a lot of people are working from home. And even more the reason, not more the reason, maaf karna, but now it's become even easier because the options are there to be doing so many things at the same time. So Sangatji, what happens is, because the concentration is there, and because the mind, the subconscious mind knows how to eat, it's not forgotten. We've been doing it since we were little. So that can just carry on, it can chew away and it can swallow. And Sangatji, but the concentration is elsewhere. And then what happens is the signal isn't actually reaching the brain from the stomach to say that yes, it's receiving food and I'm getting full. So we can eat and we've had enough calories for what we need, but we still think at the end of it, kha bhi liya. And we think, oh, we've already eaten. Pata hi nahi lagga. Didn't even realize. Am I even full? And then you have to then process it. You won't be doing, normally you won't do this consciously, but unconsciously what you'll do is you'll then process, of course I've eaten, and I've eaten a full plate as well, okay, so I must be full. And then slowly it starts to register, and then you'll actually start to feel that I am full, because now the brain's received the messages, because now you've paid a bit of attention there. Sangatji, in the same way, this Naam, Sadhguru Ji Pacha is calling it bhojan, it's food. So this food, if we've got to be, when the full concentration is there, when we're listening at the same time, and then Sangatji, what will happen is we'll start becoming content from inside. And then as the full concentration is there with meditating on Naam, because that's what we've been given. That's the meditation we've been given. Like I've said before, Buddha's way was beautiful as well, but his was more concentrating on the breath alone, just watching the breath go in and out. But for us, yes, we focus, but we focus on the breath as well, Saadh Sangat. But at the same time, we add an ingredient into it, which is called Naam. That's called Naam meditation. And then Guru Arjan Dev Ji Path saying that this became a food, but it only becomes a food if we're concentrating on it. And then, as we're saying Vaheguru with each breath in and out, it is not about speed, it's not about being slow, it's about the concentration. And then Sangat Ji, what happens is then that Naam goes into my mind, Man Sangat Ji, then my mind is overwhelmed with that name, Sangat Ji. Then Man, it's there, the focus is complete there in my mind. Then Vaheguru, but then actual Vaheguru is starting to go into my mind. Not just the Naam, but the Nami. Nami, Sangat Ji, means who that name belongs to. Then once that Nami, once through the Nami starts to instill in my mind, then I start to see that Nami everywhere. I start to see the name of that one in everything and everywhere. And then Sangat Ji, as we're saying Vaheguru, my mind is taken over. Then from my mind, Sangat Ji, what happens is, then it comes into my tan, man tan rasana, Naam Tyaya. And then what does it mean that it's come into my body now? Now the Naam has come into my eyes. Now the Naam has come into my ears. Sangat Ji, as that Naam comes into my ears, what does it mean that now the Naam, I'm meditating on the name of that one, even with my ears now, because ears, when Pachaji says body, Pachaji is most of the time referring to our senses when they say body. Now I'm meditating with my ears as well. In which way? I'll give you an example, Sangat Ji. How does this Naam become our bhojan? How do we start becoming content from inside, where that race and hunger for these worldly possessions starts to just simmer away and reduce, and that noise starts to get quiet in that false expectation that it's gonna bring me contentment? Absolutely not. But the meditation of Naam will, when the concentration there has gone from here, from rasana to man, from man, it then spills over into our body, into our eyes, into our ears. Sangat Ji, I've spoke about this before, but even this morning, Sangat Ji, even though it's raining outside, we may be not fond of the rain, some of us, of the grey sky. We may not go out and enjoy the rain outside, but the birds never stop to. Even this morning, Sangat Ji, when I was sat up in my bed this morning, and I opened the curtains, opened the door. So we've actually got doors in our bedroom. So we've got a little balcony outside. It's only about that big, the balcony. Still appreciate it, don't worry, yes. And then open the balcony door, and it's raining, but you can hear the sounds of the birds singing in the background. So ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਨਹੀਂ ਪਰਵਾਹ ਕਿ ਮੀਂਹ ਪੈਂਦਾ ਆ ਨਹੀਂ ਪੈਂਦਾ ਆ ਸੂਰਜ ਨਿਕਲਿਆ ਨਹੀਂ ਨਿਕਲਿਆ. For them it makes no difference that you can actually see the sun, the rays of the sun, but no, it's light, the sun has risen and it's raining, but they're still singing. And as those birds are singing, Sangat Ji, how then is it that the meditation of that Naam comes into my ears as well? Not into mine, Sangat Ji, as in ours. In that way, Sangat Ji, Sache Paatshah Ji say to us, kende jo bolat hai mirg meen pankheru, kende jo bolat hai mirg meen pankheru, bin Paatshah Ji say, kende so bin har japat hai nahi hor, kende so bin har japat hai nahi hor, kende japat means reciting. Kende when that meditation and then goes into our body as well of Naam, and then what do we what can we hear? We can hear the Naam through that bird singing as well. How, Sangat ji? Guru Arjan Dev Ji Pachi is saying to us, Jo bolta hai, whatever is speaking, mrig, whether it be a mrig, whether it be a deer, mrigi Sangat ji mean, whether it be a fish, whether it be a pankheru, whether it be a bird that is singing away, bolta hai, Pachi ji kende so bin hare, but without Waheguru ji, so bin hare, all of those, so oho, them, so bin hare, japat hai nahi hor, japat means whatever they are singing, whatever sounds that is coming out of them, those beautiful, beautiful sounds that are coming from them, those melodious sounds, japat hai nahi hor, it's not anyone else other than Waheguru ji nahi hor. It's not anyone else other than Waheguru ji that makes it possible, that has given them the satya, that has given them the shakti, the grace. It's the grace of Waheguru ji that is where they are able to speak, Sangat ji. And when those sounds even come, when the Naam of Waheguru ji goes into our mind, even then when we hear a bird singing, then even the Naam of Waheguru ji is there in my ears as well. That it's not Waheguru ji other than you. There is no one else that can even create that sound within them. And then Japat here, then the arth even changes. And then the experience of what Japat means changes. Then Japat means that it is you. It's your voice even through the bird. That Waheguru ji, Namo Nirt Nirte, Namo Naad Nade. Waheguru ji, in the way this bird is moving, it is your dance within this bird as well. Within the dance of this bird is your dance. Namo Nirt Nirte. Nirt means to dance. And then Namo Naad Nade. Waheguru ji, Namo Naad Nade. You are the sound within this sound of this bird. Look how our meditation then goes into everything. And then that becomes our food. We start to become completely content from inside. Namo Naad Nade. That sound of that bird singing, Nade. You are that sound, Waheguru ji, within this. Jo bolat hai mirg meen pankheru. So, har bin japat hai nahi hor. There is no one else for me. Look how fine, look how subtle that meditation becomes for me now. That your name is even in the singing of that bird. I'm experiencing your name in that, because your name is behind even the sound that is coming from that bird. If it wasn't for your grace, there would be no sound that comes out. You made it possible, Waheguru ji. Everything is you. Manatana rasana naam te aaya. In every part of my body, Waheguru ji, your name has now come into my eyes as well. Wherever I look, whatever I hear, I can hear your name. Meaning that I know it's you behind that sound. You are the sound behind the sound. Waheguru ji, whatever I look at is you as well. It's your name behind everything. You've made it possible for that to be what it is. That grass, that green grass, you are the one that has designed for when it blossoms, for it to be green. You are the color of all colors. Namo Sarbarange. You are the color of, you are all the colors, Waheguru ji. Namo Sarbarange. And you start to see that even though Sangat ji, Range can mean love, but Range means the color as well. You are all the colors. All those colors of the rainbow are yours. Those are your colors, Waheguru ji. Now meditation of Naam has come into my eyes as well. That just like Sarb Nain Aap Pekhan Hara. that you are the one that is looking through my eyes, because you are now in my eyes. Sarbanan, in all the eyes, Aap, it's you, Aap, Pekanhara, the one that makes it possible to even look. It's your grace, it's your kirpa. And then, Jo disa so tera roop hai. Then I start to see that whatever it is your form. That it's your name behind even that green grass. It's your name even behind the dust, the mitti, everything. So Sangat ji, Man tan rasana naam ਧਿਆਇਆ Jivana har jivana Bhai Baljit Singh jivana, life. Saying, what is it? What is life? What is life? Jivana har jivana. How do we live? It's saying life is only in Waheguruji. Meaning life is all about meditation of that one. That's what life is. This life for us as a human being is to live our life jivana har jivana. Behind life is Waheguru. Waheguruji is life. Our life is to meditate on Waheguruji. That's what life is about. Jivan har jap Saadh Sangat. How can I make my life about meditating on Waheguru? Kende in the Saadh Sangat. In the company of our Guru. Saadh here can be translated to Guru. In the company of our Guru. That Guru is giving us this wisdom and taking us to that experience of meditation. Rahao, contemplate this. Anek prakari bastar udai. Bhai Baljit saying, Kende that I wear, I experience the pleasure of wearing so many different types of clothes. For some people, life is all about clothes. Sangaji, I spent yesterday clearing out all my clothes. And I'm sure you have those days as well when you're going through all your clothes. And at one point I felt sick. I thought, why have I got so many clothes? This is ridiculous. And some people that becomes their life. That just wearing, some people have to wear a different pair of clothes every day. They won't ever wear those same clothes again. Sangaji, and it becomes that becomes their pleasure. Is all about, just life becomes all about clothes. And then I was going through and I was just taking it, and I took out so many clothes to drop off for either recycling or to drop off at the charity shop. And it reminded me of what my father would say. Kende beta, kende ਅਸੀਂ ਜਦੋਂ ਛੋਟੇ ਹੁੰਦੇ ਸੀ ਪਿੰਡ 'ਚ ਰਹਿੰਦੇ ਸੀਗੇ, ਖੇਤੀਬਾੜੀ ਦਾ ਕੰਮ ਕਰਦੇ ਸਨ, ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਬੇਟਾ ਸਭ ਤੋਂ ਦੋ ਕੁ ਝੱਗੀਆਂ ਹੁੰਦੀਆਂ ਸੀ, ਦੋ ਕੁ ਕਛਹਿਰੇ, ਦੋ ਕੁ ਝੱਗੀਆਂ. And my father would say, say beta, son, said, like when I was growing up, they said all we would have was about these two little banana, like almost like just t-shirt type things. And they said, well, I'd have two of them and about two kashare and about two pajame and about two of these, you know, how we have the kurta bottoms, and those were their like type of trousers. My dad said that's all we had. They said, but we were so content. We were so fulfilled, so happy. Never even thought that, oh, need more clothes than this, because clothes weren't about that. Clothes were something to you cover your body with. And I cleared out so many clothes and I thought, you know, look what we end up, where we end up, and living unconsciously and just accumulating so much. But she's saying, but for me, they said, what clothes do I wear? Andan Kirtan har gun gaye. They said, of night and day. An means night, din means day. Kirtan har gun gaye. Constantly singing the praises of Waheguruji Kirtan. All the time, always praising Waheguruji. And you know when we're praising Waheguruji? Praising Waheguruji is that in every moment, everything is having that gratitude and saying everything is your grace. And when we start living like that, try it, Sangat. You try it for just 1 hour. You cannot feel depressed. All that will come upon your tongue is wow. And you will just smile. It will light your face up. Every time you open that shower, it's just, thank you, Waheguru. You've made it possible for this water to flow through this pipe. Waheguru, it's because of you that you've made it possible for me to even cleanse my body. For this water, look, oh wow, Waheguru, look at this water. It's got the ability, when that water's warm, it helps to relax these muscles. In every moment, meditating on Waheguru, saying, wow, this is through now praise. This is called Kirtan. Saying, thank you, Waheguru, thank you. It's your grace that this water has the ability to soothe my body and take away that tension in my muscles. Waheguru, Waheguru. You're meditating on Naam, but this is now in praise and gratitude. When does that gratitude start? When does that praise start? Sangat, that when you open your eyes, you sit up. Before you can sit up, you go, Vaheguru. I've got no power to wake up out of sleep. When I'm asleep, I'm unconscious. And I'm not even aware that my body exists in that moment, so I can't consciously say, okay, wake up now. If I wake up, it's because you've woke me up. It's your grace. So I praise you for waking me up. And I say, Vaheguru. Everything is, when you start living in praise, there is no space left for your life to lead into being down or depressed. Praise will keep us away from depression. What a beautiful way to live. Hasti rath as asvari. Guru Arjan Dev Ji Pachi saying, can they Hasti means elephant. These are the type of things that people would travel on before. These were their cars. Their version of cars of today. Rath, the chariot that they would sit in, that what would then be carrying the weight of that chariot. With Asa would be horses, Asawari. And Sangatji, for many people today in life, their pleasure has become cars. Some people will just spend hours and hours a day just looking at different cars, looking at pictures of cars, watching programs of cars, watching Top Gear, or even every year they need to buy a new car. It has to be this model, it has to be this fast, and their joy they get out is if driving, a super powerful car, or it's got to be smooth, it's got to be like this, and that becomes their pleasure. I'm not saying every moment of our life should be pleasure, but thinking that's going to satisfy us, we are mistaken. Yes, enjoy the ride of your car. Nothing wrong with that. You should, because every moment should be filled with pleasure, in appreciation. But thinking just getting more and more cars or getting the next best model is going to give us contentment. No. Baljit Singh, what do I ride on? What's my ride? They said, my ride is Har ka marg hriday nihari. Within myself, within my hriday, within my heart. Within my heart, what's in my heart? Har ka marg is constantly nihari. Nihari means looking. Looking, seeking for the path of God. Looking, always constantly looking at what path is going to take me to Waheguru. That inside seeking. That is one of the arts of being a Sikh. We call ourselves a Sikh. One of the meanings of being a Sikh is to be seeking inside. What path is it that takes me to God? They said, that's my ride. That's what carries me in life. Once we've got that within our mind, the right things will come our way that will show us and lead us to that, to Vaheguru Ji. Man tan antar charan te aaya, constantly within my mind, within my body, within all my senses, antar, within, charan te aaya, I meditate te aaya, charan on the feet, meaning on the name of God. Kende har sukh nidan nanak das paya. Guru Arjan Dev Ji Pach kende har sukh, kende that Vaheguru Ji, that is the treasure nidan of sukh, Sangat Ji, of sukh, that inner peace. Nanak das paya. Guru Arjan Dev Ji Pach saying, whoever becomes a servant of God will obtain that treasure of sukh, that treasure of peace. So Sangat Ji, go through today. Homework. Go through today of being more conscious when you say Vaheguru Ji's name. And then see if you can start hearing Vaheguru Ji. If you can hear Vaheguru Ji, if your mind can open to that sound, being the sound behind that sound is Vaheguru. That whatever you see behind that, what you see is Vaheguru. Vaheguru's name is there. Every time you consciously take a breath, who is the one? Who is my pranpati? Who is the master of my breath? Who makes it possible for me to breathe? It's Vaheguru. Spend your whole day in meditation and in praise. Every time you open that tap of water, say thank you. Vaheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Vaheguru Ji